Elaborate, please. I've noticed people in this city have this weird habit of holding on to what they know as if it was their dearest treasure.
He wasn't my guest. He came here because of the dogs.
Oh? I thought you were friends, or at least on friendly terms.
People assume that we were because we both shunned company, but that is where the similarities end.
I see. But you two must have spoken at least occasionally.
I told you, neither of us is a people person. I'm a dog person. He's lost in himself.
Still, you've spent hours with him. You must know something that could help me find him. Les must have said something. What did he do when he was here? Lev came here often. If he didn't speak, what did he do? He just played with the dogs?
Pretty much. He got them tired, loosened their discipline, encouraged them to jump, tug, fetch things. The dogs liked it. I was not a fan.
Why did you allow it?
You must have heard stories about Lev. He was obsessed with an idea and spoke mostly to himself. Babbled, I should say. With the dogs, he calmed down. Seemed almost normal. It was as happy as Lev could get nowadays. I didn't like it, but denying him those bits of sanity would have been cruel.
I see. Do you remember anything else that could help me find him?
Why don't you wait for him to come back?
I heard it's been almost 2 weeks since he went missing. His wife is worried. Please.
I saw him 10 days ago, or so, as I was walking my dogs. He was even less coherent than usual. No wonder, though, he looked as if he'd been run over by a sleigh.
Sev got run over by a reindeer. It didn't occur to you to help him?
Would you let me finish? Lev came from Galen's greenhouse. I assumed the doctor wouldn't let him go if there was any real danger.
But you said he wasn't lucid.
As usual in his case, he looked badly beaten, but my main worry was the dogs. Lev is a bad influence on them. He even taught them to lie.
Lie?
Yes, they've become outright deceptive.
Ha! I didn't initially peg you as someone to be fooled by a madman-trained puppy. Please stop making that face. I'm just playing with you. Your dogs seem to like it, though.
They're not mine. I take care of them, but they belong to the families. And of course they like Lev, just as children like the grandparents who spoils them.
I can see it's a sensitive issue for you.
Lev didn't understand them. He harmed the pack and drove me mad. When he's away, my work is much easier. So forgive me if I'm not helpful. I don't pay much attention to what happens outside of my kennels, and I'd rather not get involved. Take your investigation elsewhere.
Wait. How do I coax him telling me more? He will listen to reason. Flattery should do it.
Let's do some flattery.
I don't believe you don't care about Lev. Judging by how you treat these dogs, there is a compassionate human being somewhere in there.
Ooh, that's pretty good, Yani. I care about dogs, not people. People are more trouble than they're worth.
These dogs are magnificent, and I can see why you value them so much. But a bond with another human is irreplaceable. For example, I'd choose your company over theirs anytime.
Ooh, Yani! Hitting on Seb's pretty good looking. I'm flattered. But you're unwise.
Why? I prefer to spend time with someone I can talk to. Animals communicate only their most basic needs.
People lie and misinterpret each other's intentions. In contrast, building a bond with a dog is simple. Be patient and honest. With humans, there are numerous ways to fail before you get to even a basic agreement. Not worth the trouble. I do definitely agree that, forming a bond and relationship with a dog is way simpler than with other humans.
So you are not very good at making friends, is that it?
I'm speaking to you, aren't I? Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I'm doing fine.
Not too bad, but it's only been a few minutes. I dare you to handle an entire evening.
Oh, Yani! Ooh. I'm wondering, do I get to bromance 2 people? Do I get to bromance two guys in this Let's Play? That's kind of pretty awesome. I've never been able to do that before, so this is really unique. Really unique for me. A tempting prospect. But I don't think I dare. Just yet. Oh, Yani! Yani, the door's open. The door's open. He didn't shut it.
Not the bravest in the pack, are you? Fine, I'll let you off the hook. If you tell something that'll help me.
Very well. This may sound strange, but the night Lev disappeared, the dogs were worried.
What do you mean?
They were restless, howling the whole night. It's nothing unusual as we get closer to the winter solstice. But that night the pack was beside itself. I don't know why, but maybe that'll help. I don't mean to be rude, but it's feeding time. Routine is important to the dogs.
I see they've gotten used to it. I'll let myself out. Why do you give up on people? Why did you give up on people? Could dogs be used to track Lev? Why did you give up on people? I want to know more about this guy. Just one more thing. Why did you give up on people?
Who says I did?
You chose these dogs' company over man's. I can understand keeping away from people. Most are not worth the effort. But some of us honestly wish well. If you ever need help, all you need to do is ask.
That's kind of you. You assume someone has harmed me, though. It's sweet that you see me more as a victim than a perpetrator.
Sweet? I merely wanted to let you know you have nothing to worry about from me.
Has it ever occurred to you that I might be the one to worry about? If I'm isolated from people, I can't harm them. I've done enough to consider it a good idea.
That's why you're solitary? Because you hurt someone?
Or because people ask stupid questions. Goodbye, Yani.
Huh. See you soon, Sam.
Oh, yes. We'll see how this goes.
When I heard Slava's frightened voice speaking with Galen, I didn't think she could run such a successful business. It's so lively in there. Back home, places like this were cultural centers. Here, I'll probably be lucky if I get some beer and greasy food. Hello, Yani. Nice to meet you. Nice to see you back to health. Pardon me, but do we know each other? How many newcomers do you think we get during the dead season? I'm Slava. I'm sorry I can't greet you properly, but we're pretty crowded tonight and my kitchen staff has left for the true winter. I need to make sure there's enough stew and beer for everyone.
Wow, she doesn't seem to be that broken up about her husband right now at all.
Oh, don't worry about it. The smell alone is enough to make me feel welcome. Food tastes better when you enjoy it in the company of others. Pick a table to join. I'll bring you something to eat in a minute. Very well then. There's a free spot at Laura's table, though we may have gotten off on the wrong foot. I think Slava was sitting with Laura as well. I haven't had the chance to speak to her about her husband yet, so now may be a good time. There's a second free stool right there next to... Isn't she the caravan driver? I think she's drinking with the captain of the guard. I owe her my thanks, and it might be interesting to hear their thoughts. The caravan pilot... I want to talk to Lawrence. I want to talk more about Laura. And Slava. Good evening, Laura. We meet again. Try to patch things up. I mean, she is the assistant to Istvan, so I kind of want to get in nice with them. We're a handful of people stuck in one place for at least 3 months. You'll be tired of meeting me soon enough. May I join you nonetheless? I don't mean to intrude, but I'm new to the city and don't know people here. Sure. It's nice of you to ask, or rarely has a chance to decide anything in this city. Although Istvan usually gives you the illusion of choice, it hurts even more at times. You seem to have a serious grudge against your employer. Why? Employer? You still don't understand, girl. You work here short-term, while most have a compact signing them for years. Istvan is more of a slave driver than an employer, emphasis on slave. You still get paid, don't you? I was the firstborn child of my house, trained in diplomacy and trade to take over the lead someday. I had a loving home. Istvan's compact gradually stripped me of all that. Why did you sign it then? I didn't fully understand its terms back then. I was young and ambitious, and Istvan was quickly rising to power. Now I'm a maid and a secretary. I haven't seen my family in years. I earn enough for some ale, but not for a decent wine to help me for... Here's your porridge, Yani. What were you two chatting about? Nothing. I heard your husband is missing. I'm so sorry. I'm fine, kid. I lost Lev to Kala many years ago. He leaves and comes back, but his mind's gone most of the time. I got used to it. That's good, I suppose. But isn't Galen finding Lev for you? Yes, that boy has his heart in the right place. I was worried. Lev was gone for much longer than usual. Galen was the only person who listened to me, and for that he'll always have his glass full here. Everyone else just assumed it was Kala. Perhaps they're right. I hope he's safe. You keep repeating his name, this name, Kala. What is it exactly? It's just a legend. Every book in every tribe has a different version of it. It's a stone, a crystal, a force, a myth, a tale to tell children by the fire. Lev read every story he could lay his hands on, listened to every crier. He mistook a symbol for a tangible thing. A futile search for it consumed his mind. You're wrong. You're wrong. Kala is very much real. Lev can't find it because it's not a primitive wish-granting thing, but a force that silently surrounds us. It's Kala you hear in the Northern Wind song. Tribes know it. Their wise men even claim to use it. For most, it's unattainable, but it affects us all. Is Kala another word for the force? Is this what we're looking for? So you have actually experienced Kala? Careful, Yani. You wouldn't be the first foreigner to fall victim to the tale. Asking too many questions is the first sign of the disease. Now quit scaring her, old lady. Many strange things can manifest themselves here. Yani, do you want me to show you? There she goes with her own madness. I guess there's no harm in a little entertainment, though. Brace yourself, kid. I'm not trained in any of the mysterious crafts. All I can do is show you through my cards of fate. Shuffle them for me, Yani. Oh, is she like a fortune teller? Sure. Done. One card for the past, one for the present, and one for the future. My goodness, is this Madame Vu? Now ask a question, Yani. What do you want to know about the past? What happened to the previous technician? What happened to Lev? I mean, that is the obvious question. What happened to Lev? I don't know if what happened to the previous technician would help, though. Would it? Unless it was related to his disappearance, of course. I'm gonna ask what happened to Lev. What happened to Lev? A good question. I doubt we'll find the answer through this toy, but let's hear it. The Pope. In the reversed position, Lev was under many bad influences. Teacher's treachery driving him to the brink. I see fatal mistakes. Lev had a teacher? I don't know. He himself was one, and a famed archaeologist before we came here, but since then I can't think of anyone. Anything else, Laura? Just darkness, as if he was lost to this world. Have your cards ever found one to be fine and good health? Ha! Hush! Now choose your question about the present. Is someone sabotaging the city? Is someone harming people here? Is someone harming people here? On the off chance that Lev didn't just venture somewhere and is truly missing, is there someone threatening the inhabitants of this city? Are others safe? The Empress, she's all that's threatening us, with her rules working against the very laws of nature, disturbing the peace. We either need to fear her or the nature of this place. You will need to choose a side. So many words with so little actual meaning. It must be magic. These cards aren't informative at all. And this surprises you, kid? This is a reading, not an interrogation. The cards won't rephrase their answers just because you make fun of them. Besides, you shouldn't stop the reading before the end. So ask the last question, girl. Question about the future. What will the weather be? What awaits us here? I'm not going to ask about the weather. Tell me what awaits us in the city, those of us who are stuck here for the true winter. You ask such unspecific questions, then accuse me of generalities. You get what you asked for, you know. I mean, would you rather me ask about the weather? It's gonna snow. It's snowing, just like the day before and the day before that. Any excuse will work, it seems. Oh, don't be mad, Laura. I'm only teasing you. You may not believe it, but at least show some respect. Making fun of fate is dangerous. Enough of this already. Let's see the last card and move on to something more cheerful. It's death. Oh. Now the thing is, death is not necessarily a bad card in the tarot, in the classic tarot. A lot of people may think death is a bad card, but it's not always interpreted in a bad way necessarily. No, let her do it. Put it back. Not that it makes much difference here. Hey, it's the Hanged Man. How did you do that? See, the future is still in motion, susceptible to those willing to take control. The death means it could all end in destruction, the old order falling apart, with only our ashes left to tell the tale. That's comforting. But the hanged man, that would be a wise outsider bringing a solution, honest help or deadly tricks. Stop foretelling death, Laura. You're constantly telling about bad fortune, loud enough for everyone to hear. It's bad for digestion. I wasn't trying to disturb anyone. It was a private conversation. You know what they say. In the dead season, even a snowflake lands with a thud. Everyone's a bit on edge these days. I'm not on edge, but I wonder what you would do if I started, say, singing at my table. Just, privately. Everywhere you go, snow. Wherever you're lost, frost. Sing with me. Don't mind them, kid. They bicker, but that's where it ends. Oh, I don't mind. I clearly haven't drunk enough to join in. That's something I can easily fix. Here's my remedy for the dead season. It's not as good as Galen's, but it's tastier. Bottoms up.
Am I about to get poisoned? I don't know.
That was an evening to remember. See you all in the morning. Yani, wait. Laura? Look, I know Istvan told you to investigate Lev's case. He didn't tell me why. He never does. But never mind that. I have something you might need. What is it? There are two things, actually. The first is a bit of information, or rather a warning. You should be wary of the doctor. What do you mean? Why? I don't know anything more. Where did you get this information? Who told you that? You wouldn't believe me anyway. Just be careful and do not trust him. Death surrounds him. It's in his destiny. Oh my goodness. Galen? Death is in his destiny? That's not good. What does that mean? Is he going to die? Or will it be someone close to him? I told you I don't know. Please, I just wanted to warn you. And to give you this. Ooh, a key. It's the key to the book. The diary, I bet you. A key? What does it open? I have no idea it's the key to the diary. Then why are you giving it to me? That's a good question. I saw it fall out of Lev's things. It is Lev's key. He used to have 2 locked cabinets in his office back when he was still working, as well as a journal with a lock. Nowadays, he only locks his jam cupboard. I thought I should give it to you just in case. Do you want it or not? Yes, thank you, Laura. If I can reciprocate it in any way. Chances... What was that? I have no idea. Ancestors. There it goes again. An earthquake? Or an explosion? But that isn't possible. I think it's coming from the main square. We better move. Ooh, wow, things are getting really interesting. I was getting worried. An entire day and I was no closer to finding Lev. It became more and more evident something must have gone wrong. Was there ever a good reason for a man to disappear from a place that had no way out? But even asking about him was interfering with a balanced system of secrets and personal goals, a system where respecting other people's privacy was the first and most important rule of conduct. I can't say I didn't enjoy disrupting the stagnant routine of the city, if only for a moment. But such small pleasures couldn't make up for the fact that I was a doctor, who had just lost his patient, albeit in a somewhat unconventional way. That isn't to say I didn't have chances to practice my art, though. I love how it switches back between Galen and Yani. How do you feel? Much better now. Thank you, Dr. Galen. The concoction you gave me had an unusual flavor. May I ask what was in it? It tastes awful, I know. It's an old recipe from back when we only used local plants from the Isles, so you probably won't know them. It's one of the strongest tonics I know. Very universal and very useful. It was a pleasure to watch you prepare it. You are very skillful, Doctor. I wish my teachers felt the same. No, I've simply prepared this so many times I could do it with my eyes closed. Really? And why is that? Most students in the Isles learn tonics first. Otherwise, they'd flunk most exams. Partying the night before, you know. I see. Your country sounds like a very nice place to call home. It is. Yet most of us choose to spend half our lives traveling. Someone once told me that curiosity is what makes people grow, and inspires us to try and learn new things. Growing as human beings is all very nice, but mostly we crave adventure. Boredom kills us more efficiently than wild animals.
but I babble about myself while my patient is waiting for her diagnosis.
Talking with travelers from distant places is one of my favorite pastimes, Doctor.
Apparently, you've done it twice already. Talking with? Listening to, more like. I didn't give you a chance to speak. Anyway, you show symptoms of mild anemia. It's nothing serious. A change of diet and something to strengthen your blood should be enough to put you back on your feet.
I'm not surprised. It happens to me every year during the true winter. The silent season always makes me feel weak and apathetic.
I see. Living in the far north is straining, even for the natives. I'm guessing you're not from around here, Constance.
Oh, I see. It's you who wants to be the listening party now.
As a doctor, I need to thoroughly interview my patients.
I like the idea, Galen.
Huh. So now I'm Galen. What happened to doctor? Are we dropping formalities and getting more intimate?
I could try that, but my intuition tells me flirting with you would be art for art's sake.
Art and flirting are my favorite pastimes, but I most enjoy flirting with artists.
Sculptors do have strong hands.
Ah, I'm glad there's someone like you in this city, Constance. I have a feeling we'll get along just fine. I think you may need some medication, though, to give your body a helping hand. I found some very noble looking brandy in one of the cupboards the other day. It should just do the trick. I find alcohol a very efficient remedy for ailments of both mind and body. Trust me, I'm a doctor.
Life has taught me never to refuse a generous offer from a well-intentioned man. Thank you, Galen.
Perfect. Let me get the bottle.
Thank you. You come across as quite relaxed and cheerful, Galen. It makes me forget that everything here must seem strange and new to you, and some things must be problematic, I'm sure. What's your least favorite thing so far?
Lack of people, being cut off from the world, the humming of the dome drive me crazy. Lack of people. I'm a social person. Having my social circle reduced to a small group of people is a new experience for me. I admit it feels slightly claustrophobic.
They call it the dead season for a reason, you know. Maybe you should try getting a permanent position. You could see the city when it's full of life. It's a melting pot of people from all over the world. Most have extraordinary stories to tell. Some have the gift of presenting them so well you feel like you've experienced them yourself.
You make it sound amazing. Apparently there are perks of being the keeper of the bathhouse I didn't realize.
I consider myself a collector of stories and characters, so yes, having the opportunity to meet so many is a blessing. May I ask why, of all places in this world, you chose to come to this city?
What can I say? I love adventure. I also have a teacher who travels a lot. She made sure to plant the love of change in me. She says being in constant motion and watching the world shift as you go is the best way to learn.
I see. So she sent you here to have a learning experience.
No, nothing like that. We get to choose our first journey out of the Isles. Actually, Nana Geed was ambivalent about my plan.
She didn't want to let you go?
Let me go? Spirits, no. Wait, let me go? Spirits, no. It's not her place to let me do anything. She's my mentor, my teacher, not a slave driver. She was worried that coming to a place so different from what I'm accustomed to would be too much for me. It takes a lot of flexibility to adapt to new circumstances.
If you ever feel like you need a hand adapting or testing that flexibility of yours, remember that I'm here for you.
That's very sweet, Constance. I appreciate the offer, Constance. I'm flattered, really. But if you're offering to have sex with me, you'll have to be more direct about it. There's another thing about this place. People speak in riddles, and I end up having to depend on my instincts.
Your instincts have served you well so far, Galen.
Well then, I'm flattered and uninterested.
So it's a no then? Well, that isn't something I hear very often. A pity. Unfortunately, my pupils are gone for the winter as well, so I can't offer you the company of someone more suited to your character. If I may be so bold as to offer you advice, though, Cassia might be interested in getting to know you better.
Oh, I'm sure I would too.
Ah, there you go again. If you mean... Yes, I mean sex. Really, Galen, subtlety is not your forte.
See, being direct is simple and it saves time.
I can see how people who live for the adventure and hate staying in one place for too long would call haste a virtue.
You're right, I can be reckless sometimes. You're patient because
Beauty takes time, and the way I see it, beauty is what counts the most for you. Many would say that, yes. Oh, so it's not actually true? A lady should never reveal all her secrets at once. I'm much more interested in your impression of Cassia. Cassia seems like a person. He is hot. He's too short of himself. I'm gonna be frank with her. He is hot. Pale and ginger is a killer combination. For a retired warrior, he's also managed to stay in shape. You've noticed, of course. As my antidote teacher used to say, antagonistic substances attract. He looks like the exact opposite of what I'm used to. Antagonistic? Would that mean hostility and desirability go hand in hand? Precisely. Nothing like a bit of controlled violence to spice things up. I understand. Well, Galen, Cassie is not my pick for that kind of adventure, but he can be charming company during long winter evenings. That said, it's not as if I haven't tried to get to know him in a more intimate way as well. This brandy was a fine idea, I must say. It really helps break the ice. I hope I won't get hiccups, though. There's no real cure for that, you know. It just has to pass, and I hate waiting. Anyway, friend, I answered your question. Now it's my turn to ask you something. I'm wondering, can Galen date Constance? Because it did seem like there was an option for me to do that, to turn her down. Is Galen completely gay? I don't know. That's a really good question. How about Yani? Is Yani, it seems like there was something going on between her and Seb. So can she also have other, I don't know. I'm not sure, who is romanceable in this thing. You're speaking with the right person. I try to learn as much as I can about everyone I meet, and I rarely forget a thing. There'll be a time for asking about others. Right now, I'm much more interested in hearing your story, Constance. Why did you come to the city? Oh, it was a long time ago. My story is not nearly as interesting as yours. I have little to say about it. Ha! Looks like I found yet another victim of a terrible deal with the infamous bank. Excuse me for a second. I need to get some water. Whatever is in this bottle, it's nothing like the rum back home. Strange flavor, too. How did they do that? Some herb, maybe? Oh, this is much better. What was I saying? You mentioned compacts, Doctor. Oh yeah, the bank thing. So how come you people don't rebel against it? You make it sound so very simple. Well, isn't it? I mean, how many guards can they throw at you? Or are you simply too afraid to act? This isn't a topic I'm comfortable discussing with you. Come on, Constance, show some spirit. Where is your sense of it? Enough. I apologize, Doctor. You obviously meant no harm by asking, but it is a dangerous subject. Spirits, you're terrified. You would be scared as well if you knew half the things I do. There cannot and will not be a revolution in the city. Take it as a warning. What's happened to the gracious host happy to answer all my questions? If you truly want to end your adventure prematurely, go on and ask around about rebellion, but leave me out of it. I prefer to leave such foolish notions to Laura. Ooh, Laura wants to rebel. Thanks, I'll remember that. Oh, that's the earthquake? Spirits, what was that? Are you okay, Constance? Yes, the quake caught me off guard. The noise came from the market. It was loud, too. We better go see what happened. Ooh, are Yani and Galen gonna be in the same place again? Gods, what's with the shaking? Look, the lantern hasn't switched to night mode. Something must be off with the system, but what? I don't know, but I have the feeling we'll find out soon enough. You might want to back away, just to be on the safe side. It feels like the entire city is about to fall apart. Oh. What's glowing in there? Oh. What the heck? Is the goblet of fire? Oh. Well. What in Kala was that? Oh no. Is everyone alright? What happened? Oh, there's Kaz. We're alright. There's been an explosion. One of the lampposts apparently malfunctioned. Gods, it was terrifying. Is it over? The noise and the shaking stopped immediately afterwards, so yes, I think it's safe to say it's over. The lamp, it looks dead.